Do you know that 90% of traders lose money not because they do not understand technical analysis, not because they use the wrong indicators, not because the market is against them. They lose because they cannot control themselves. And this is the thing that most trading courses never teach you. During my first 3 years of trading, I kept losing money even though I knew many strategies. I read books, I watched videos, I back-tested for hundreds of hours. But when the market truly became volatile, I still did exactly the things I had sworn I would never do. I revenge traded. I held losing trades for too long. I cut winning trades too early. I removed stop losses because I thought price would come back. Maybe you have gone through moments like that too. And if you are watching this video, I think you are smart enough to realize one thing. The problem is not the strategy. The problem is you. But the good news is, if you yourself are the problem, then you are also the one who can solve it. Today we are going to talk about that. First of all, I want you to truly understand this. In the world of trading, the word good gets attached far too easily. Just a few months of continuous profits and people already start calling themselves professional traders. Just one beautiful trade posted on social media, and people think they already understand the market. Just a few weeks of account growth, and people already begin selling courses. But the market does not care what you think about yourself. The market only cares about one thing, your actual behavior in every decision, every day, every trade. And this is what Jim Rohn, one of the greatest personal development philosophers of the 20th century, once said, "True ability does not lie in applause. It does not lie in the admiration of others. It lies in the level at which you can do something deeply, solidly, consistently, and sustainably, to the point where very few people can replace you." What does that mean in trading? It means the ability to sit in front of the screen while the market is moving against you and do nothing except follow the plan. It means the ability to cut a loss when it needs to be cut, even though every emotion inside you is screaming to wait just a little longer. It means the ability not to trade when the market does not provide a clear setup, even though your fingers are itching to click the buy or sell button. That is real skill in trading, and it is far rarer than what you see on social media. Now, I want to ask you an honest question. Are you trying to prove to other people that you are good at trading, or are you truly focused on becoming a better trader? These are two very different things. Most new traders chase validation. They want to post profitable screenshots. They want to talk about winning trades. They want other people to think they are talented. And because of that mindset, they constantly get pulled into bad decisions. They try to recover losses quickly, so nobody knows they are losing. They increase position size to make bigger profits and impress others. They try to catch tops and bottoms because they want a beautiful story to tell. But truly skilled traders do not care about proving it. They focus on only one thing: becoming better than who they were yesterday. And this is the starting point of every journey toward becoming a great trader. Not learning another new strategy, not buying another course, yet not searching for another better indicator, but deciding that from today onward, you will stop trying to prove yourself and start truly training yourself. Now, we are going into the core part. How can an average trader gradually become truly skilled and make money consistently from this profession? First, and this is the foundation of everything, choose one thing and go deeply into it all the way. The biggest mistake I see in most traders is not laziness. Their biggest mistake is scattered energy. They want to learn price action, then Elliott wave, then smart money concept, then indicator-based systems, then scalping, then swing trading, then macro fundamentals. The result is that after many years, they know a little bit about everything, but are not truly good at anything. Jim Rohn once analyzed a very simple principle of personal growth. Human energy is always limited. When you spread it into too many directions, each direction receives only a very small portion. Think about sunlight. If sunlight spreads everywhere, it only creates a little warmth. But when sunlight is focused through a magnifying glass, it can burn a piece of paper. Trading is the same. Focus creates power. The truly great traders in the world usually share one thing in common. They do not chase every method. They choose one approach and stay on that path long enough until they understand it at a level other people cannot. A trader who is great at price action has spent thousands of hours reading charts, not to learn more patterns, but to deeply understand how price reacts to each type of zone, each type of context. A trader who is great at order flow has spent hundreds of hours watching how money truly moves, not just reading theory books about it. They did not become exceptional because they were smarter than others. They became exceptional because they went deep long enough in one field. Jim Rohn once said something very thought-provoking. You do not need to do everything. You only need to do one thing really well. And when you become truly skilled at one trading method, something strange begins to happen. Your thinking about the market changes. Your discipline becomes stronger because you clearly understand what you are doing and why. Your ability to read charts becomes deeper because you have a specific framework through which you see everything. On the other hand, if you do not have any deep foundation, every trade you take will always remain a slightly more sophisticated form of guessing. So, the important question is not how many things you are learning. The real question is, are you willing to stay committed to one method long enough to truly understand it? Many traders are afraid to choose. They fear that if they study only one method, they will miss opportunities that another method could provide. But look back carefully. The most dangerous thing is not choosing the wrong method. The most dangerous thing is not choosing anything at all, because when you do not choose, you will always stand at the crossroads. You will always try something new, then stop halfway. You will always start over from the beginning, and your account slowly gets eaten away by indecision. Meanwhile, the traders who truly go far are the ones willing to choose. They may begin with an imperfect method. They may lose more trades at first, but day by day, little by little, they understand the market more deeply. One day does not create a huge difference, but after 5 years, 10 years, the difference becomes enormous. So if you truly want to change your trading results, start with one very simple question. If for the next 3 years you were only allowed to become truly good at one trading method, what would you choose? That answer matters a lot. It reveals the path you need to walk. Second, create daily training hours. After you choose the method you want to go deeply into, the next question becomes very practical. How do you improve every day? Many traders choose the right direction, but after some time, they stop progressing. Not because they lack ability, not because the method is wrong, but because they do not have a clear daily training rhythm. Jim Rohn called this a very simple concept: 1 hour to become great. It sounds ordinary, but if you truly understand its meaning, this may become one of the most powerful principles that changes your life as a trader. Most traders say they want to improve. They want to read more, analyze more, review trades more. But when you look at their real daily schedule, you will notice something very clearly. There is no fixed time dedicated specifically to that. They review trades when they feel inspired, they read books when they are free, they analyze charts when they are in a good mood. And because of that, their growth process is always interrupted. Jim Rohn looked at this very directly. Success does not come from big moments of motivation. Success comes from small disciplines repeated every day. In trading, what does that specifically mean? Every day, set aside a fixed amount of time to train, not to trade, to train. Maybe it is 30 minutes every morning before the market opens to review your plan and analyze charts. Maybe it is 1 hour every evening to review your trades from the day. Maybe on weekends you spend 2 or 3 hours deeply studying your method. But no matter what time period it is, when that time begins, you do exactly one thing. Train your skill. No social media. No messages. No notifications. Only you and your improvement. Jim Rohn once said something very interesting. 1 truly focused hour is more valuable than 10 hours of working in confusion. You can stare at charts all day, but if your mind keeps getting pulled elsewhere, if there is no real analytical thinking, no deep questions about why price behaved that way, then you are not learning. You are only watching a screen. Try a very simple calculation. If every day you spend 1 hour seriously reviewing trades, then in 1 year, you will accumulate more than 300 hours of deep analysis. 300 hours looking back at mistakes and learning from them. 300 hours understanding a little more deeply how your method reacts to different market conditions. After a few years, you will realize you have gone very far. Not because you did more than others, but because you were more consistent than others. And this is the difference between amateur traders and professional traders. Amateur traders analyze and study when they feel inspired. Professional traders do it because it is time to do it. When a habit is repeated long enough, something magical begins to happen. It becomes part of you. You no longer need to force yourself. When the time comes, you begin. Great people do not work when they feel like it. Great people work when it is time to work. 1 hour every day, repeated long enough, and you will become the trader you cannot even imagine today. Third, just become 1% better every day. When many people begin applying the habit of daily training, they encounter another problem. They practice every day. But after a while, they begin asking themselves why they still do not see major changes. Their account still does not grow significantly. The same mistakes still repeat themselves. It feels like they are standing still. And this is where many traders begin to lose motivation. Jim Rohn reminds us of a simple but profound principle. Real progress does not come from giant leaps. Real progress comes from very small improvements repeated every single day. In trading, this has a very practical meaning. Do not try to completely change your entire trading style within 1 week. Do not expect that after 1 month of training, you will become a completely different trader. Instead, every day, ask yourself one simple question. What can I do today slightly better than yesterday? Maybe today you place your stop loss exactly according to plan instead of placing it too wide because you are afraid of getting stopped out. That alone is a 1% improvement. Maybe today you skip an unclear setup instead of forcing yourself into a trade because you are bored. That is a 1% improvement. Maybe today you review your losing trade with an objective analytical mindset instead of feeling angry. That too is a 1% improvement. Each of those actions is very small, but if you maintain that for 100 days, 300 days, 1,000 days, you will become a completely different trader. Jim Rohn often said that people tend to underestimate the power of small things, because when they happen, they seem too insignificant to impress anyone. But when they accumulate long enough, they become a massive force. Imagine climbing a very tall mountain. If you only look at the peak, it will seem very far away. You will feel tired. You will feel discouraged. But if you focus only on the next step, the journey becomes much simpler. One more step, then another step, then one more. Eventually, you realize you have traveled very far. In trading, the mountain peak is becoming a stable and profitable trader. The next step is your next trade. And the question is not when you will reach the peak. The question is your next step better than your previous one? A very effective way to maintain this principle is that every evening after the market closes, open your trading journal and write down one single thing. Where did I improve today? You do not need to write a lot, just one sentence. But when you do that every day, you begin creating a journal of your own progress. After a few months, when you read those lines again, you will notice something very interesting. You are no longer the trader you were on day one. You understand the market more deeply. You control your emotions better. You follow your plan more consistently. All thanks to the small improvements you once thought were insignificant. That is how every great skill is built, not through giant breakthroughs, but through small improvements that never stop. Fourth, learn deeply instead of learning broadly. This is one of the biggest problems of the information age. Trading knowledge today is everywhere. Hundreds of YouTube channels about trading, thousands of books, countless courses, countless forums, countless groups. You could spend all day consuming trading content and never run out of things to watch. But there is one truth that very few traders realize. Knowing more does not mean becoming better. Jim Rohn said that true learning is not the collection of information. True learning is transforming information into real-life capability. What does that mean in trading? It means the important thing is not how many concepts you understand. The important thing is how many of those concepts you can actually apply consistently and profitably. To understand this, look at how people learn trading through 3 levels. The first level is learning to know. This is where most traders stop. Or you watch a video about support and resistance. You feel excited. You nod your head. You think you understand it. But in reality, you have only touched the surface. You know the concept exists, but it has not yet become part of your real ability. The second level is learning to do. This is when you begin applying it. You try trading live using what you learned. You try identifying support and resistance on real charts. And at this stage, one thing will definitely happen. You will be wrong many times. You will realize that understanding a concept on paper is very different from truly reading it on a moving chart with real money involved. But those mistakes are the real process of learning. Because when you act, you begin to recognize how much you truly understand and where you still lack understanding. The third level is learning to master. Or this is when knowledge has merged into your reflexes. When you look at a chart, you no longer need to consciously recall information. You simply look, and your brain automatically recognizes patterns, contexts, and conditions. Skill appears naturally, like an experienced driver. At first, they must think carefully about every action. But after enough time, everything becomes reflex. And this is the difference between traders who merely know and traders who are truly skilled. A trader who only knows can explain a method very well. But a skilled trader can execute that method consistently even when the market is chaotic and emotions are intense. So if you want to improve faster in trading, change the way you learn. Do not just watch videos and feel like you understand. After finishing a video, ask yourself, why is this true? How does it work under different market conditions? Can I apply it to a specific trade this week? Then try doing it, even if it is imperfect, even if you are uncertain. Begin observing the market through the lens of that concept. And then there is one very important step that many traders often skip. Explain what you just learned. You can write it in your journal. You can say it out loud. Because when you try to explain an idea simply, you will quickly realize, do you truly understand it, or do you only think you understand it? If you cannot explain it clearly, that means you need to go deeper. And when you return to refine your understanding, then apply it again, you are entering a very powerful cycle. Eat, learn, practice, explain, correct mistakes, repeat. Each cycle like that brings you closer to mastery. Imagine this. If every week you choose one single concept to study deeply, then after 1 year, you will have 52 solid foundations of knowledge. Not surface-level knowledge, but knowledge you have lived with, tested, failed with, and understood at a level that someone who only watches videos never could. That is how real ability is built, not by learning more, but by learning deeper. Fifth, do not rely on motivation. Build discipline instead. This is the point that I believe is the most important in this entire video. If you have followed everything we have talked about so far, you already have a clear method to focus on. You already have a daily training habit. You are improving little by little and learning deeply instead of learning broadly. But why do so many traders still quit halfway? They begin with excitement. They apply discipline for a few days, a few weeks. But slowly, everything starts to fade. The excitement disappears, discipline weakens, and eventually they return to old habits. Jim Rohn said that the difference between successful people and ordinary people is not the ability to start. The difference is the ability to continue after the emotions disappear. This is the most important thing you need to understand about yourself as a trader. Your emotions are the greatest enemy of your trading results. Not the market, not the broker, not the algorithm, your own emotions. When you have just gone through a losing streak, emotion tells you to increase position size to recover losses faster. When you have just had a winning streak, emotion tells you that you are in great form, so you should trade more. Or when the market does not provide clear setups, emotion tells you that you are bored, so you should force yourself into some random trade. When you have just placed a stop loss and price is approaching it, emotion tells you to move the stop loss farther away to avoid getting stopped out. Every time you follow emotion, you are destroying your edge. Jim Rohn called this the cycle of temporary excitement. And to escape this cycle, he offered an extremely simple principle. Do not rely on motivation. Build personal discipline. Motivation is like the wind. Some days it blows strongly, Some days there is almost none. But discipline is like an engine. It keeps you moving forward even when there is no wind. What does discipline mean in trading? It means following your trading plan even when your mental state is terrible. It means placing your stop loss exactly according to plan, even when you desperately want to hold longer. It means stopping trading after reaching your daily loss limit, even when you strongly want to continue trading to recover losses. It means not trading when there is no clear setup, even when you feel extremely bored doing nothing. Jim Rohn once said a very famous sentence: "We must all suffer from one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret." The pain of discipline in trading is very light. It is sitting there, watching yourself skip a trade because the setup does not meet your standards. It is accepting a planned loss even though you desperately want to hold longer. It is stopping trading for the day even though you have not reached your profit target yet. But the pain of regret is very heavy. It is looking back at an account that got margin called because of one moment of not respecting a stop loss. It is looking back at years of trading with inconsistent results because you never truly had discipline. It is asking yourself, what if I had been more consistent from the very beginning? So, the real question is not whether you have motivation. The real question is, are you willing to build discipline for your trading? A very practical way to start. Keep everything small but consistent. Do not set goals that are too big from the beginning. Do not try to change your entire trading behavior within 1 week. Start with very small and specific rules. For example, never move your stop loss farther than the original placement. That is a small rule. But if you maintain that rule for 100 consecutive days, your mindset will change significantly. Or, do not trade after losing 3 consecutive trades in 1 day. That is also a small rule, but it can save your account from many catastrophic loss days. Discipline is not doing something extremely difficult. Discipline is doing the right thing even when you do not want to do it. And the interesting thing is, when you maintain discipline long enough, it begins creating something very powerful: confidence in yourself. Every time you keep your own rule, you become stronger. You begin believing that you are the kind of trader who can control himself. And that belief is a massive source of strength. It helps you stop depending on emotions when sitting in front of the screen. The best traders are not the people with extraordinary talent. They are the people who maintain discipline longer than everyone else. Sixth, find a reason big enough not to quit. We just talked about discipline, but now a deeper layer of the problem appears. There are many traders who stay disciplined for a while, yet still stop in the end. Not because they are lazy, not because they lack willpower, but because they slowly lose their sense of direction. They practice. They try hard. They follow the plan. But after many months of losses or average results, they no longer feel clearly where they are going. And when the goal becomes blurry, discipline also begins to weaken. Jim Rohn said that the strongest discipline does not come from force. The strongest discipline comes from having a reason big enough. When the reason is big enough, the way will appear. When the reason is too small, every difficulty becomes an excuse. In trading, this is extremely practical. Many people begin trading because they want to make money. But that is usually not a deep enough reason to help them survive difficult periods. Because when your account is losing, the reason of making money is not strong enough to keep you going. The most resilient traders usually have a deeper reason. Some people trade because they want to prove to themselves that they can master a field that requires discipline and high-level thinking. That is a reason related to personal growth. Some people trade because they want to build true financial freedom so they can have more time for their family. That is a reason related to life values. And some people trade because they genuinely love analyzing markets and see it as an intellectual game they want to master. That is a reason related to passion. When your goal is connected to deep values like these, you gain a completely different source of energy. You are no longer trading only for results. You are trading for the person you want to become. And this is something very interesting that Jim Rohn pointed out. Goals do not only help you achieve something, goals help you become someone. A trader who practices discipline every day does not only become better at trading, he becomes a more disciplined person in every aspect of life. A trader who learns to control emotions in the market does not only get better trading results, He becomes someone who controls emotions better in life itself. And when your character changes, everything around you begins changing too. So, if you want to go far on the trading journey, take time to ask yourself a very important question. Why do I truly want to become a great trader? Not the surface level answer. Find the deeper answer. Maybe you want to prove to yourself that you can master one of the hardest things in the world. Maybe you want to build a true source of income that gives you more choices in life. Maybe you want to become a more disciplined and consistent version of yourself. When you find that reason, write it down. Put it somewhere you can see every day, because there will be days when the market hits you very hard. There will be losing streaks that make you question everything. There will be periods when you want to quit everything and never look at charts again. And during those days, your reason will become the only thing that keeps you going. That is the difference between traders who quit and traders who reach the end of the road. Traders who quit only see difficulty. Persistent traders see meaning in the journey. Discipline helps you act, but a great reason helps you endure. And now, when we look back at the entire journey we have just gone through, perhaps you will realize something very clearly. Becoming a great trader is not some massive secret, and it is not a privilege reserved for a small group of people with extraordinary natural talent or extraordinary luck. That path is actually very simple, but that simplicity requires one thing that very few people are willing to do: remain consistent with small principles every single day. Just one method to focus deeply on, instead of learning randomly. Just 1 hour of training every day instead of waiting for motivation. Just one small improvement better than yesterday instead of expecting massive change immediately. Just one mindset of learning deeply to transform knowledge into real skill. Just one decision to live through discipline instead of living through emotion. And just one reason big enough not to quit halfway. Each of those things, when standing alone, seems very small, but when you combine them together and repeat them every day, they create a very powerful force of change. Success in trading is not something that appears after one lucky period. That it is built from the very small choices you make every day. Today, do you properly review your trades, or do you simply open your account, then close it again? Today, do you respect your stop loss according to plan, or do you move it farther away one more time? Today, do you skip an unclear setup, or do you force yourself into a trade because you are bored? Every choice seems very small, but over time, those choices shape the trader you eventually become. The real question is not whether you have enough talent to become a great trader. The real question is, are you willing to begin with small things today? That journey begins with one very simple decision. The decision that from today onward, you will no longer trade randomly. You will trade consciously. You will learn with purpose. You will train every day to become the trader you are truly capable of becoming. The greatest privilege is not having an easy trading journey. The greatest privilege is becoming the best version of yourself, both in trading and in life. And that begins today, not next week, not when you find the perfect strategy, not when market conditions become easier. Today.